Good afternoon, everybody. This is Shea broadcasting live from Olympia, Washington with your daily update from the Capitol. Just want to talk about a couple issues today. We had the Great March for Life. Thousands of people on the Capitol steps today in the pouring rain. And when I say pouring rain, it was like a hurricane out there. But it was a phenomenal time. A lot of people just so excited to see such a move of God and such a move in the Christian community rallying on the Capitol steps today in defense of the unborn. Just wonderful to be a part of it. I want to thank everybody that was here, thank the organizers as well. Just a terrific event. Also want to mention Thursday, 1:30, in the Judiciary Committee in the House of Representatives, they're going to be hearing a lot of the gun control bills. This is the one that you've been waiting for. Thursday, 1:30, Judiciary House Hearing Room A, unless they move it to a bigger hearing room. That is where the gun control bills are going to be heard, where you can have your voice heard as well. Want to mention something else too. Today, there was a post in regards to the 51st state after I did and it was a great event on Saturday where over 250 people showed up in Colville, Washington. Thank you to everybody that showed up there. But there was a post today that was talking about there being something of a Christian caliphate up in Colville with the 51st State Movement. Nothing could be further than the truth. Most of us have been very clear on the record that we support and defend religious liberty, and so by definition, this idea of a theocracy, it's just not going to happen. It's not possible, and it's not what anybody's advocating. So what that means then is we need to take a look at who's doing this. Typically, these types of disruptions are organized by social justice warriors of one type or another. Social justice warriors have two very important principles that they follow. First, social justice warriors in these attacks lie. Number two, they double down on their lie. And then number three, they try not to admit that they were wrong. Even though we have conclusively shown what they said was a lie, they continue to put that out on the internet. And so because of that, a lot of people have been confused. Make sure you go to the 51st State website. Join the Movement for the 51st State, which is a group where you can go to the Liberty State page as well and get more information, get the truth, and just put all this nonsense to bed. But anyway, a lot of folks excited about the 51st State Movement, a lot of folks excited by the fact that we are now showing very conclusively that not only is it a viable plan, but also that it would solve a lot of the problems that we are seeing between downtown Seattle and eastern Washington. Well, that's it for today. Thank you very much, everybody. Make sure that you are eternally vigilant. And God bless all of you, and keep up the fight. Good evening, everybody. This is Shea broadcasting live from Olympia with your daily update from the Capitol. A lot happening here today and yesterday as well, so I'm sorry I didn't get an update yesterday, but I'm going to fill you in on a lot of things that have been going on. Okay, first, tomorrow, Thursday, 1:30, House Hearing Room A, the Judiciary Committee is going to be hearing all of the gun control bills. You have to show up there really early. Make sure you sign in. There are a lot of people that have been contacting me about making sure that they can get on the first wave of folks to testify. You've got to get there early, okay? There's just no way around that. It is going to be a packed hearing room. There's probably going to be a huge overflow hearing room, and maybe even overflow from that. It's going to be one of the biggest hearings of the year. Look forward to seeing everybody there. Also, on a positive note, today in the Judiciary Committee, House Bill 2718, the Civil Asset Forfeiture Reform Bill that I introduced, was passed out of committee with only one no vote and is headed to the Rules Committee in the House floor. Why is this important? Civil asset forfeiture, for those of you that don't know, is the seizing of property even if you have not been convicted of a crime. Understand that. And it's a widespread practice throughout the entire United States of America. A lot of states have already enacted reform bills. This is one step in the right direction. It's not perfect, but it is a step forward in the right direction on civil asset forfeiture reform. Also, today, House Bill 2567, my bill on ballot names. Okay, these are election materials like voter guides or ballot envelopes, return envelopes. Just a simple bill that says that county auditors and the Secretary of State cannot put their names on those things, even in an off-election year. In other words, they can't be using these things as essentially advertising materials. It doesn't prevent any public or professional letters to go out to people in an area, but it does prevent, I believe, potential abuse of the election system for political gain. I think it's a very important thing and one of those things that we can all get behind. That passed out of committee as well today. Yesterday, we also had the Institute on the Constitution show up. My great friend Jake McCauley from the Institute on the Constitution. If you have not taken their training, it is phenomenal. Bar none, some of the best in the country. You can contact them, and I will put a link in the comments below this post so you can actually contact them, figure out who's kind of heading it up in your state, and just start a little small group, maybe at a church or something, and get folks involved. Institute on the Constitution came yesterday. Jake McCauley came yesterday to actually talk to us legislators about some of the materials and things that he has available for us. And we had a great turnout of legislators, even when it was very busy, you know, and you get 6 to 8 people in the same room in Olympia. It's a big deal. And they were able to take the time out of their busy schedules and listen to Jake, and also about how to approach the Constitution and educate our constituents and other people about what is happening, not just in Olympia, but nationally, and how the Constitution really has all the answers. Last but not least, and this is a very interesting story I got to tell you about. On Monday, I gave an update about the March for Life. It was a torrential downpour, especially when I got up to speak at the end. Worst rain I've seen in a long time. But I got a picture of the Planned Parenthood counter rally across the way. Okay, this is over on the steps of the Supreme Court. 5,000 people plus showed up for the March for Life. And there were maybe a dozen, 2 dozen counter-protesters. But here's the interesting part. Those counter-protesters had a communist flag, an actual, for real, hammer and sickle communist flag. I'm going to post that in the comments as well so you can see it for yourself. So you guys understand what is happening down here and the battle that is occurring here in Olympia for the heart and soul of Washington State. I know, especially on the east side of the mountains and in other areas of rural Washington, that ideology is not just bankrupt, but is wholesale rejected by people in our areas. And why? Because it's not American. It's just not American. So when I use the word communism describing certain things, socialism describing certain things, these folks are for real. I mean, these are for real socialists, for real communists, and they're just becoming unashamed of it anymore. And when you see a communist flag down in Olympia at a counter-protest, you know that the ideological battle is really heating up. So really want to thank everybody for listening tonight. I know it was a little bit longer than normal, but I wanted to catch up for yesterday. I hope to see those of you that can make it tomorrow at 1:30 at House Hearing Room A, Judiciary Committee for the gun control hearings. God bless all of you, and keep up the fight. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Matt Shea broadcasting live from Olympia with your update from the Capitol. Today, the huge turnout for the gun control hearings here at Olympia, Washington. I have with me Don Amon, who is actually there in Nevada, and also, as always, Al Acosta, one of the great freedom fighters here in Washington State. Don, your testimony was some of the most powerful testimony today in regards to what you experienced down there in Nevada, your experience just generally, but also the fact that what happened down in Nevada, even though you were an eyewitness, has not deterred you from being pro-gun. If you could, tell the listeners a little bit about your testimony and yourself.
Well, basically, it was a packed house, and that just because Vegas happened, we had no control over what happened in Vegas. And they are using their emotions to try and force these new draconian gun laws on us, like they will continue to do. And I just asked them to not use their emotion, to actually use facts and logic, and not to pass any of these gun laws. any new gun laws would have never stopped Vegas. It doesn't stop the shootings because criminals do not obey the gun laws, and it's just really what it comes down to. There's only so much you can do in a minute and a half.
Well, Don, if you could, for everybody that's watching out there right now, tell a little bit about your experience, what you witnessed down there, and your experience just in general with the NRA and gun instruction, and also being a medic.
Well, as an EMT and being there in Vegas when the shooting started, at first we thought it was just random gun violence or a gang shooting is what my wife originally thought. It wasn't until I went to the edge of the VIP tent next to the stage that I saw the officer get shot. Nobody was assisting him, so we were able to get down and get him back behind the wall, and the next day found out from his partner that he was okay and that he would make it. The gal, unfortunately, that was not too far from my wife, did not make it, took her round to the head, and there was nothing anybody could have done. But the Vegas experience will not change my beliefs on the Second Amendment, will not change my beliefs on any of the Second Amendment. They are there. It's our inalienable right to arm and defend ourselves. And I'm not going to stand by anymore idly and let these people continue to pass these gun laws to stop myself or anybody out there that is a law-abiding gun owner to protect themselves or their loved ones. I'm tired. I'm tired of standing idly by.
And one thing that I think it's important to say is that Don personally rescued at least 12 people from down there in Vegas, and also one officer who was shot in the neck and ended up later surviving. And Don, I just want to say on behalf of the Republicans in the House legislature, thank you for what you did for those folks. And I know it's been emotional for you, but it's average, everyday Americans that are heroes, and that's what makes this country great. It really does, and that's why we're fighting for these freedoms down here.
It's time to stand up. It's time to stand up and fight back.
All right. Well, Al Acosta has been watching these things for too long with me and been involved in this for way too long. But Al, what is your sense on who turned out today? And it's interesting that the anti-gunners kind of got the choice seats in the House.
Well, today, one, I just want to say thank you for the Pink Pistols again for coming out. We had the National African American Gun Association also coming out and turning out. We heard a lot of testimonies out there in the committee. They pulled on no stops, so they brought out hospital administrators, moms and grandmas, but if they look at the statistics out there, even their own statistics on the national from the emergency departments, gun related admittance to the emergency rooms are not even up there. They're like the second from the last. And also, children, they brought up children and the safety of children around guns. But if you look at those statistics, motor vehicle transportation accidents and poisoning are on top of that list. I'd even seen gun-related issues, injuries for children from 0 to 19. So I would like, again, for them to even check out their own statistics that they're bringing into this. And one of the things that we got to continue to do is educate within the communities. There's a lot of people on the fence. The testimonies that they brought out, I have a feeling that these guys are unexperienced with weapons, guns and rifles and all that. And this is where we get them, is through education. We got firearm instructors that are willing to donate their time. I'm willing to donate my time and get out there and start educating and let these know it's just a tool.
All right, everybody, this is Matt Shea again, broadcasting live from Olympia. I just want to say this, and Al, if you could scoot in just a hair. I want to say this, that it seems like ban, tax is kind of the message that's being sent from the Democrats this session. And it's going to take all of us to be eternally vigilant to fight to keep our freedoms and liberty. That means get a hold of your legislator, tell them to vote no on these gun bills. Let's try and kill them in committee. And also, make sure that your legislators know this very simple fact. One more bureaucrat, a stack of more permits, one more law is not going to stop bad people. It's armed good people that are going to stop bad people. And the fact of the matter is that these laws are really making criminals out of law-abiding citizens, including those who sacrificed everything down in Las Vegas to save the lives of others, and those that served in the military and sacrificed for this country. That's not what America is about. America is about freedom and liberty and the right to bear arms. Let's keep it and keep up the fight. God bless all of you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.